right, good afternoon everybody. I am presenting on the management of Alvars in the Great Lakes Basin. I've been interested in Alvars because during my career at the Ohio Department of Natural Resources, I was fortunate enough to visit Lakeside Daisy Nature Preserve up in Lake Erie. And you can see there's a photo of a Lakeside Daisy. At the time, I did not know the importance of Alvars in sustaining plants like this. Alvars are sparsely vegetated areas that are supported by a thin layer of soil covering a limestone bedrock. You can see in the daisy photo that the soil around it is very rocky. However, these ecosystems actually support a high biodiversity of rare flora and fauna. And these ecosystems occur largely in the Great Lakes Basin, as you can see in the map of the Alvars sites in the Great Lakes region, although some Alvars also occur in the Baltic region as well as in Ireland. So the issue, or the current problem, is that these systems are endangered by quarrying for limestone, because the bedrock itself is limestone, and they are also endangered by development by lakefront properties and also by invasive species that are fighting for limited resources. So it's kind of a doubly concerning issue because not only are these Alvars rare in and of themselves, but they also support a number of rare flora and fauna. So now we're going to move on to the previous and current management of the Alvars. Historical conservation began in the 1930s with government and non-government agencies acquiring land in the Great Lakes region. It wasn't specifically targeted at Alvars, but it contained these ecosystems. So you can see in the timeline that in 1938, ODNR acquired a portion of South Bass Island. In 1955, the Cleveland Museum of Natural History acquired Kelly's Island, or portions of Kelly's Island. In 1992, the Kelly's Island Audubon Club acquired North Pond and the North Shore Alvar. In 2000, ODNR purchased Middle Bass, and in 2004, the state of Ohio acquired North Bass Island. So that's really been the historical emphasis, is preserving these ecosystems by acquiring and protecting them. Communication and cooperation between these agencies has continued to develop, and they are working together to continue to preserve high quality Alvar sites. So that is the current management system. You can see the Nature Conservancy has an international Alvar conservation initiative, that outlines a couple of strategies in preserving Alvars. This includes protection through government and non-government ownership, private land stewardship, public education, and that sort of thing. So, now we're going to move on to recommendations. Some of the literature that I read mentioned that restoring abandoned quarry sites might be a viable way to help Alvar ecosystems, to bring them back. This theory was tested with limited success. They were able to bring some of these rare species back, but not all. And after further reading into the literature, I believe that preservation of quality Alvar ecosystems should be the focus of conservation organizations going forward. Restoring degraded sites is a part of the overall solution, but in a similar manner to Ohio's mining reclamation programs, beneficial environmental conditions may be created, but they do not restore the environment to the rich ecosystem that it was before being depleted of key resources. So I really think that the emphasis should be on protecting high quality Alvars. I think that Alvars have been well documented by a small, interested scientific community. I kept seeing the same authors over and over again. I think they're very passionate about the subject, and I think that the importance of the ecosystem has been well documented. However, I think that they need to work to generate more public education outreach and materials on this topic to spread awareness of Alvars to constituents and the public in general, because the constituents have the power to speak to their elected officials about increasing Alvar conservation efforts. I want to say thank you very much for your time, and I hope that you enjoy the presentation.